Hey folks, welcome back to Short and Stout Guys. We are the Short and Stout Guys. I'm Terry.
I'm Daniel.
And we are going to cover another episode today of some theme parks around the Central Florida area. Today, we're doing our epic adventure, our first impressions of the epic theme park. We were fortunate enough to be able to attend a pass holder preview at Epic Universe. And we're going to kind of tell you about it. But first things first. First thing we did when we got into the park, we followed our own 3 guidelines that we covered in a previous movie. First thing we did was we took a picture of where we were parked. Took a picture of the icon, the logo that they had there for us, so that we could easily find our car back after a big day at Epic Universe. Second thing that we did, as soon as we got into the park itself, we bought ourselves a Coca-Cola Freestyle cup for each of us, and we used those all over the park. There are plenty of Coca-Cola Freestyle refill stations everywhere in the park, except for the Wizarding World. I don't know what it is, but apparently Wizards have a thing where they do not like soda and popcorn. I just can't, for any other reason, I can't figure out why there is no soda or popcorn in the Wizarding World. But anyway, other places, lots of opportunities to get Coca-Cola refills. And then what do we do, Daniel?
We also bought the Epic Universe popcorn refillable bucket.
Absolutely. That was our third helpful tip from last time. And we found, what, a couple places?
We found a few refill stations. One in Celestial Park, right before the entrance of Nintendo World.
Yep.
And one in the Isle of Burke. But maybe there were more, we just didn't see them.
Yeah, maybe we just didn't find them, or maybe they're going to be adding more as they get closer to the opening. I'm not really sure. Yeah. All right. For this video, our plan is to cover each of the 5 lands that make up Epic Universe. We're going to try to briefly describe the layout of the land, give you an idea about that, describe the rides, the shows, the character meet and greet opportunities, and then kind of give you our overview, our take on each particular land, and then, of course, Epic Universe as a whole at the end. All right?
We're going to be going in a counterclockwise through Epic Universe, starting with Celestial Park and ending in Nintendo World.
All right, sounds good. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to, once you get through the entranceway into into the park, which is the big Cronus, right? It's a portal. You go through and it's got all the icons stacked up all the way up. Then you are in Celestial Park. And it is a huge part of the park. Big, long area. It is very park-like. It connects all the other 4 lands to it. And it's whenever you leave a land or whenever you want to go into another land, you have to go into Celestial Park first. All right?
Celestial Park has 2 outdoor rides. One is the Stardust Racers, which is kind of a roller coaster. Constellation Carousel, and a wet play area called Astronomica.
All right, well, let me talk about Carousel, the Constellation Carousel. Constellation Carousel is a very modern merry-go-round style ride. It's got kind of 2 circles where the ride vehicles kind of interchange between. They're all kind of cosmic themed animals and characters. It's a great place to get out of the sun. It's themed for all ages, but it probably works best for very small guests.
Stardust Racers is a roller coaster reminiscent of Dueling Dragons from Islands of Adventure back all those days ago, but with a less upside down loops and a smoother but very fast up and down ride for older
of course,
riders.
The main thing about this is the dueling track racer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're competing against another roller coaster cart that is just flying along with you. So, all right, Astronomica, that is a water play area, primarily for kids. You've got the little fountains that shoot up and the kids can play and splash. That also makes up kind of one of the activities there in Celestial Park. All right?
Although there were some characters there, we did not see or interact with any of them during our Passover preview.
Yeah, I don't know if those are still around, or we'd heard rumors that they would be, but I'm not really sure. Well, this land is beautiful. It has lots and lots of sunshine, very few shaded areas. It does create a sense of awe as you walk into Epic and you just look over the expanse of the whole park. Pretty cool. This land seems to exist, though, mainly, again, to give you an entrance into the other 4 lands that exist. All right, so that makes up Celestial Park. We're gonna, like Daniel said, we're going to go counterclockwise. We're going to head to the right, kind of right after you come into the park. We're going to go to our first IP or intellectual property land, and that is How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk. Now this land is set up with a very large circular path, but it does have kind of a cut across walkway, so you don't necessarily have to go all the way around. You're going to want to, but you don't have to go all the way around the circle to get to see all of Berk. All right.
How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk, has 3 outdoor rides and 1 show. The rides are Hiccup's Wing Gliders, Dragon Racer Rally, and a water-based ride called Fire Drill. Additionally, there is also a great live-action show called The Untrainable Dragon.
And those are all outdoor rides. And then, of course, the indoor ride, or not ride, but the indoor attraction would be the Untrainable Dragon. Well, I'm going to talk to you about Hiccup's Wing Gliders because it sounds like this would be something that would lift you high in the air and all this. Well, this is actually a roller coaster. It is a great roller coaster, very much like kind of a toned down version of Hagrid's over at the Islands of Adventure. It's a great ride. You're going, full tilt on this roller coaster, and then you're going to go backward, and then you're going to hit it again. It's got some great visuals, some great animatronics. It is just a lot of fun. It's very smooth. It is a fast ride, but it is great for probably anybody that is at least tall enough to go on and ride it. Probably intended more for elementary age kids all the way up to adults and beyond. Great ride.
Dragon Racers Rally is an up and down, lifted circular ride where each person controls their own dragon rider training device. Controlled by 2 wings on your trainer, you can decide how extreme or mild you want your ride to be as you soar to almost 70 feet in the air. I love how you can decide just how extreme or how mild you want your ride to be depending on how you use your wings.
Yeah, very good. Fire Drill is a moving Viking ship-based water ride where you're traveling along a path and you're trying to shoot and put out the fires that all these dragons are accidentally probably starting around Berk. As you travel and you shoot these animated or targets of fire and so on, some of them do shoot back. So beware, if you're on this ride, you may get wet. You could get soaked. But it looked like a great deal of fun. We did not have an opportunity to ride it, but we did watch it running for a while. And it looked like it'd be a good time. If you like water rides and you don't mind getting wet, Fire Drill probably right up your alley.
The Untrainable Dragon is a great stage show with giant puppet dragon, live actor action. It's set in Isle of Berk with the villagers and, of course, your favorite characters like Astrid, Hiccup, and Toothless. They're learning to deal with an untrainable dragon. The show was great, although not all the effects were working while we were there during technical rehearsal. Although it was a great show that we enjoyed and are looking forward to attending again.
All right, so character opportunities in Berk. These were fantastic. We got to see and interact with Rough Nut and Tough Nut. The twins are kind of wandering around through the land. We saw and visited with Astrid. You saw Gobber at his workshop, got to visit with him there. We saw Hiccup, but we didn't have an opportunity to visit with Hiccup. Maybe next time. We did get our pictures taken with Stormfly and with Toothless. That was really a cool thing to do. The actors were great, and they really interacted well with everybody there, made you feel like you were part of the village. I will warn you, though, that if you're waiting for the meet and greets, the lines do get pretty long. They're very popular.
How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk is a beautiful and whimsical at the same time. It's big, colorful, and bright, but not too colorful or overwhelming, as the land looks kind of rustic, as though it was made by the villagers of that place. We love that there are dragons and dragon-related themes everywhere. So much to see and do in this land.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrific. I agree. Love that land. All right, so we're leaving Berk. We're going to continue counterclockwise and heading to the right. This time we are leaving another intellectual property themed land, this one being the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic. Now this land has one main pathway as you go in, and it kind of breaks off into about 3 or 4 other pathways you can take depending on what you want to go explore. and then you return to the main path when you want to leave the land. It is all set in France, where this kind of activity is going on.
The Ministry Land has one ride and one theme stage show. The ride, Harry Potter and the Battle for the Ministry, is a dark ride, and the show is Le Cirque Arcanus.
Yeah, nice job with that one.
The ride, Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry, is a dark ride or indoor ride that takes you into the Ministry of Magic in Britain. So you travel from France to England via the fireplace network that we've seen in the movies. And once inside the Ministry, you will be in awe of the size and appearance of the Ministry of Magic as you travel into the back office spaces, eventually see the trial for the oh-so-pink Dolores Umbridge, and the battle that ensues when she breaks free. This ride uses a new innovative ride system. It incorporates animatronics, screens, wild elevator movements in the ride like you have to experience to believe. While not our favorite ride, we'll get to that in a little bit in the park, it was in our top 2 rides for sure. We can't wait to experience it again.
The show, Le Cirque Arcanus, the circus-themed experience from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, was in technical rehearsal and review the day that we were there. It was not functioning, unfortunately. However, we were told that it includes live actors, special effects, puppetry, amazing images, and acrobatic performances. Now, we can't say anything about the show because we didn't get to see it, but the setting and the backdrops were very cool as we were deep into the queue as we were waiting for the show to start, and that's when it broke down, and we didn't get to see it while we were there. We're looking forward to seeing it next time.
There were a number of interesting characters to see and interact with on the streets of France. We interacted with some students from various wizarding schools, Aura from the Ministry of Magic, and a French wand maker with a very interesting philosophy that the wizard chooses the wand instead of the wand choose the wizard, such as in Ollivanders.
Yeah, kind of the opposite view that what Ollivander has. Mm-hmm. You're right. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic area is just fascinating. It is awe-inspiring. Its ride, The Battle for the Ministry, is nothing short of amazing. The size and scope of this land and of the ride are just absolutely unbelievable. This area has something for everyone to do and explore, including wand experiences for those who are not quite ready for the big ride. You know, it's got the circus for everybody. But in our opinion, it is the second best ride that Universal has created in any one of its parks. All right, we're going to now leave the Ministry of Magic. We're going to continue heading to the other side of Epic Universe, on the other side of Universal's Helios Grand Hotel, and get into our most anticipated land, that of the Dark Universe. Now, as you travel, you're looking forward to, that was like obviously what we wanted to get to see. As you travel into Dark Universe, you travel through its village of Darkmoor, and then you can veer slightly to the right, and you can go to Dr. Frankenstein's castle. You say it's a
manor.
A manor, and maybe you're right, that's fine. Or you can veer off to the left and head back to one of the first rides, The Curse of the Werewolf. Either way, whether you go to the manor or the castle for the Monsters Unchained ride, or if you go to the left to the werewolf ride, both of them kind of connect through a looping path. So either way, you're going to end up at the other ride. All right, I'm going to start off with The Curse of the Werewolf. Now, when we went, the first place we went, because there was kind of a long line for the Monsters Unchained Frankenstein experiment, so we went over to The Curse of the Werewolf and walked right on. I mean, we had no wait at all. It is a mostly spinning, I got to really emphasize that, spinning outdoor roller coaster. It is very unique in that the ride builds up speed until it can finally take you into the lair of the werewolf, and it does this several times. It's a fast and fun ride, but it may make those of us who don't like spinning and circle rides, it may make us a bit queasy, like it did me. It's a good ride. I would have liked to have seen more movement from the werewolf, the Wolfman, when you see him a few times, and I would like to have seen some movement, some kind of an animatronic at the end of the ride when you get back to where the gal is that tells us whether we're cursed or not.
That's true. The other ride in Darkmoor is Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. It's a dark ride that uses the Kuka arm technology. You might have heard of it from the Harry Potter Wizarding World ride, Forbidden Journey in Islands of Adventure. However, I think this one is a lot more heart-pounding and suspenseful because use this to travel into the catacombs underneath Dr. Frankenstein's castle and the city of Darkmoor. And you will encounter all the classic Universal monsters. They're all here. Phantom of the Opera, Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Wolfman, Dracula and his brides, and of course the most famous monster of them all, Frankenstein's monster. But it's not the original Frankenstein's monster, although we do see him in the queue for this ride.
Okay.
This monster was created by Victoria Frankenstein, the descendant of the original Dr. Henry Frankenstein, and her assistant Igor, in an attempt to control the other monsters. Although things don't go according to plan. But honestly, this ride is amazing. The queue has so much character and detail. The ride itself has a ton of animatronics, screens, constant motion flow so well, are so seamless. It is just stunning. We rode this ride at least 3 times, and I cannot wait to experience it again and again and again. It is without a doubt our favorite ride at Universal Park or anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I will say the Village of Darkmoor comes alive with character meet and greets. You have the opportunity to meet the Invisible Man who lives there, and you actually had quite an encounter with the Invisible Man, as well as the Bride of Frankenstein. Got to visit with her. And then also the doctor's assistant, Igor, is there, and I know that he is going to be a fan favorite just because of his kind of off, quirky weirdness. I think he's going to be one of the most popular meet and greets in the park. So meeting Igor, but great characters, great actors playing those characters, really good.
Dark Universe and Darkmoor are absolutely breathtaking and so much fun to wander through. But who doesn't enjoy a good graveyard visit now and then? Oh. There are dark and sometimes mightily disturbing things to see and experience in every corner of this land. It is truly a Universal monster fan's dream come true.
Well, unfortunately, I know you'd love to stay there all day, but we do have to leave the Dark Universe and Darkmoor, and we do have to venture into one more land. So we're going to leave kind of through a side exit. There is another way out of Dark Universe and Darkmoor, and most of the lands have these, except for Burke. I think we didn't see one in Burke. Could be wrong on that, but we were able to go out and then continue to the right into Super Nintendo Land. Now, I will say that Super Nintendo Land is set up so as you go through the portal, you're heading up an escalator, and that's going to take you up to where I believe Princess Peach's castle is. You can kind of wander around up there. Then there are stairs. There are a lot of stairs in this land. You can go down into what I believe is the Mushroom Kingdom. You can go back up into Bowser's. Is his called a fortress?
Yeah, Bowser's
Fortress. All right. Or you can stay on that ground level and continue around into the area where you'll find Donkey Kong and one of the other lands. And then you just come back out and kind of do it all in reverse. Kind of like one path in and out of that Super Nintendo world.
Super Nintendo World has 3 rides. Its main one is a dark ride, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. There's another ride, an indoor-outdoor slow-moving ride, Yoshi's Adventure. And then way in the back of the land, there is a primarily outdoor roller coaster, Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge is an indoor dark ride attraction where you drive a car, you wear a virtual reality headset, and you shoot obstacles and targets along your racing journey. I'm going to be honest, for me, the ride can be a bit overwhelming. Not being a Mario Kart fan or a Nintendo kid, I was kind of lost while on this experience. The headset had so much going on in addition to the few animatronics. It was just a lot. I mean, a lot. It was something you need to experience, but not my favorite ride at the park. It's kind of like a riding version of Villain Con Minion Blast.
Just kind of souped up. I agree, there was so much going on.
Yeah.
Well, in the opposite direction is Yoshi's Adventure, which is a very slow-moving, people-mover type ride where they have lots of colorful scenes and characters, some animatronics. It seems like you're kind of searching for some different colored eggs as you go along. Very, very slow-moving. This is going to be a great ride for smaller guests, somebody looking for a nice, slow-paced ride to just take a break on. As an older person, this ride was fine. It's not one that I would go on more than once per visit, but it was fine.
At the very back of the land, you have Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. It's a primarily outdoor roller coaster using a new kind of technology that almost makes it seem like your minecart is jumping from track to track and almost in midair at some points. I've heard it's a lot of fun. It looks great. Unfortunately, we did not have a chance to ride it, but hopefully next time we'll give it a shot.
Yep, we did not see any characters in Super Nintendo World, so we didn't get to interact with any, but we're told that there are opportunities to meet Princess Peach. I'm not sure about Bowser. There may be chances to meet the Mario Brothers, and then I think something with Donkey Kong, but we did not see any of those going on, so we didn't have a chance to interact with any of the characters.
Super Nintendo World will be extremely popular with Nintendo fans, especially those who familiar with Mario and Donkey Kong. It's very bright, very, very colorful. It has two compelling castles, Princess Peach's castle and Bowser's intimidating fortress. They seem very well done. It is an extremely interactive land with the power-up bands that we did not have. There are a lot of animatronics and a lot of moving props. Especially, I would say we probably didn't have the best experience with this land, but I'm sure the others might have a much more positive interaction with it.
Yeah, if you're a Nintendo fan, you're probably going to love it there. You're going to want to spend a lot of time there. Well, Epic Universe, as we're leaving now, that's kind of our wrap-up of the different lands. For Epic Universe, our final thoughts, I just sum it up with we loved it. We loved it. It was so good. We each had our favorite lands and rides and characters and experiences. We cannot wait to get back again and explore this park some more. It is so well crafted and fun to see in person. Now, the park does struggle with lack of shade and general sitting and resting areas.
And icy.
And they don't have any icy stations. Epic, what are you doing? We could have used an icy or 2 or 3 that day because it was so warm. But other than that, it does kind of lack some general sitting and resting areas, whether you just want to take a break or whether you've got a snack that you want to eat outside. And the icy refill areas. Other than that, we feel like Universal really did knock it out of the park with this theme park. Truly, it earns its name, Epic. It is an epic theme park, and we are so anxious to get back again. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed that quick overview. We are the Short and Stout Guys. We hope that you'll join us again for another adventure here around the theme parks and in Central Florida. And hey, we'll see you out there. Take care.